Welcome back to the South African Morning. I'm Gareth Edwards. Many provinces fast approaching the dreaded third coronavirus wave. Concern, of course, over the pace of vaccinations. Or let me correct myself, the lack of pace over vaccinations. The South African Federation of Trade Unions are very worried about the proposed target of more than 40 million people. Remember, that is what we were told will be vaccinated by the end of the year. Let's speak to the General Secretary of Saftu, Mr. Zwelinzima Vavi, joining us here on ENCA. Mr. Vavi, do you think, however, it was an optimistic target from the beginning, knowing how difficult it is to get vaccines? It seemed a bit far-fetched in hindsight, didn't it?
Well, we started very late. The government, by the time it ordered the first doses of AstraZeneca, other countries have moved from the point. That's why we now so way behind and lagging, so badly behind even the countries like Botswana and Morocco in the African continent. We're still battling with around 1% of the population when others are 13% up in terms of the rate of their reach of their population. And so we started very late, and secondly, we started by making a big mistake. Remember, we brought in an outdated AstraZeneca, 1 million, and a waste of money. Then we moved from AstraZeneca, we went to J&J, which is good, but we still have Pfizer. And Pfizer, unfortunately, we need double doses. So when government says it has vaccinated 1.3 million, that's completely an exaggeration, because it doesn't take into consideration that 900 of those people would have been vaccinated through Pfizer, which requires 2 doses. And you can't just put 1 dose and say that's it. And you cannot claim that you have completed the vaccination until we have had the second dose.
You're absolutely correct in that if it's 1.3 million doses so far of Pfizer, it's actually, you need to equate that to 2.6 million before you've vaccinated one person, because it needs 2 jabs each. Mr. Vavi, I want to ask you this, and I'm by no means a mathematician. Maybe you can help me work this out. 650,000 Pfizer vaccines making its way into the country weekly, we're told. Now, here's another number for you. The health department's latest data is showing just 6,812 people were vaccinated yesterday. Where in the world are all the other hundreds of thousands of vaccines going? Where's this falling over, do you think?
Well, we are seemingly vaccinating 60,000 people a day. Our calculation is that if we continue at that rate, we would only be ready to vaccinate 40% of the population, or 67% of the population is targeted by the government in 1 year, 9 months. We will be nowhere close to vaccinating that 67% at the end of this year. That's just a far-fetched, it's ill-information, and it's unfortunately very costly ill information on the part of the government, more so because we're now entering the third wave of the coronavirus, and you can just imagine that we basically are going to be on our own. The estimates of the adult population is that we have 5 million of them in South Africa. We're not anywhere close to 1.3 million that the government is claiming, and that includes the fact that we should have vaccinated health workers, and we have not finished that too. So,
Mr. Vavi, let me pick up on the mere fact that you mentioned health workers, and I think you and I have spoken to each other many, many years now, and you know I was going to ask you this question. The health minister, he has been placed on special leave. 2 questions, final answer from you. One, is the special leave of Zwelinzima going to negatively affect the vaccine rollout? Is it going to go backwards? And 2, why the tourism minister to step in? Why Mamaloko Ungubani to step in as the temporary health minister? Final answer to you briefly as you could, please.
It proves again that when the president appoints the deputy ministers, he does that for pure reasons of patronage, not because he is placing people onto appropriate portfolios with the skills that are required in the job. If they were doing so, they were going to pick up the deputy minister, and he would have been well briefed instead of bringing somebody from outside. The issue of Zwelinzima, for me personally, is very sad, but unfortunately, the reports that are coming are suggesting that the president is dead right in putting him on a special leave.
Mr. Vavi, I'm going to say thank you very much for your time in speaking to us this morning. I'm sure we'll get lots of reaction throughout the day. Saftu, General Secretary, Mr. Zwelinzima Vavi, joining us on the very slow vaccine rollout.